I want Obama to fail.
But
the dirty little secret, Marianne, is that every Republican in this country wants Obama to fail, but none of them have the guts to say so.
The president, of course, promised change, and he believed that if he came to Washington and in good faith said to the Republicans, join me, we can compromise, we'll solve our problems, that would happen. Instead, the Republicans in Congress took this filibuster strategy in the Senate and said, we will just not cooperate with the president on anything.
If we don't have that firewall of at least 41 solid Republican senators, we can't stop that with extended debate.
In the bad old days, just about the only good thing you could say about the filibuster was that it wasn't used very often. Usually you saw at most one or two in any given year. The old-fashioned stem-winding filibuster was replaced with a newfangled procedural filibuster. Filibustering senators could simply point out that the majority lacked 60 votes to halt the filibuster. Where once you'd see one or two filibusters each year in the 1950s, the number rose to 20 to 30 in the 1970s. Then, in 2007, the Democrats regained the Senate majority. Would you like to guess how many filibusters Republicans waged in 2007 and 2008? 112. Today, we take it for granted that any major piece of legislation needs not 51 votes to pass, but 60. The Senate has become a sort of Quaker meeting house where every decision must be unanimous or close to it. The world's greatest deliberative body is now a molasses pit.
But the process was really caused in large measure by the refusal of the Republicans to deal in any way. Senator DeMint is the author of the famous statement that this is going to be President Obama's Waterloo.
If we're able to stop Obama on this, it will be his Waterloo. It will break him.
That this ought to be used to break the president, so that before the ink was dry on the oath of office, and I know this because I was in the caucus, the Republicans were already plotting ways to beat President Obama in 2012. Now, effective government in a democracy relies upon some bipartisanship, but there simply isn't any.
I think the president really wanted bipartisanship. I actually believe that he did everything he could to get bipartisanship and was shut out. McConnell from the beginning decided he weren't going to get any wins. Why they filibustered? They filibustered stuff that they knew they had to pass eventually, just to prevent him from getting a victory.
And it is true that the Republicans are just blocking everything he is trying to do. They would actually rather, on this jobs bill, screw their own constituency in a sense. This should be something they want, you know, the tax relief on the jobs, small businesses. But they don't want to even give him that because they feel that winning is more important than delivering anything for anybody.
I've always said, Joe, the Republicans are incredibly successful in opposition because they don't care. They don't care what passes. They don't care what has to be killed. They're just incredibly focused, well-disciplined, and on message.
Essentially, the Republicans have got this facade now that everything is no. That's all they want to say is no, no, no.
Earlier today, Senate Republicans blocked the Cheating American Jobs and End Offshoring Act. The bill would have provided incentives for American companies to hire workers here in our country and replace the jobs that have been shipped overseas. Now, is that common sense?
Senate Republicans, in fact, took the historic step of filibustering the entire defense authorization bill, and so we don't have a bill to fund the military this year.
It was predictable. We had a vote and not one single Republican senator would join us in closing the tax loopholes that American businesses are using to subsidize shipping American jobs overseas.
Republicans are now frequently voting against things they used to support. Today, for example, there was this.
I've proposed a bipartisan fiscal commission, a panel of Democrats and Republicans who would hammer out concrete deficit reduction proposals over the medium and long term. I should point out, by the way, that is an idea that had strong bipartisan support.
You know, it did, in fact, have a bunch of Republican co-sponsors. Until President Obama endorsed the idea. 6 Republican senators who originally co-sponsored forming a deficit commission voted against it once President Obama signed up for the ideas.
That's also why we're restoring pay-as-you-go. A simple rule that says Congress can't spend a dime without cutting a dime elsewhere.
Republican Senators John McCain, George Voinovich, Susan Collins, and Olympia Snowe all endorsed PAYGO in recent years. But then, despite supporting PAYGO before, now that President Obama is for it, John McCain, George Voinovich, Susan Collins, and Olympia Snowe all voted against it when it came up for a vote last week. You noticing a trend here?
They've introduced the filibuster to stop everyday business in the United States Senate. Almost everything the majority leader tries to do here now requires us having a cloture vote in order to prevent a filibuster.
The Republicans were serious about obstruction. They were serious about Waterloo. They were serious about breaking him. They were serious about not cooperating and reinventing the filibuster for something that it was never really intended to be.
If you don't believe me, listen to what the minority whip, Senator Trent Lott, told a reporter just this April. He said, quote, "The strategy of being obstructionist can work or fail, and so far it's working for us." The us being the Republican Party and the minority in the Senate.
Even on taxes, Republicans are now opposed to the one thing we thought for sure they were definitely for.
So, Senator McConnell, there is no room to compromise. Are we understanding you correctly? You're not willing to go to the drawing board and try to figure out a way to work with those across the aisle to figure out a way to get tax cuts for at least a portion of the American people. Well, how likely is the scenario, though, that this battle could continue, there's no compromise, and then all the tax cuts expire for all Americans?
Well, we can have the debate now. We can have it again in the session after the elections. The Democrats like to call these tax cuts as if we're doing people a favor.
Republican leader Mitch McConnell made it clear in a statement today that the GOP opposes President Obama's plan to extend the so-called Bush-era tax cuts to the lower and middle classes. A spokesman for McConnell says he's received pledges from every member of the Senate minority to filibuster the tax cut plan.
Republicans not in favor of tax cuts anymore, not if they're Obama tax cuts.
It is further evidence of the Republicans' approach, which I believe is shortchanging America. This party of no is saying no over and over again, and the American people hear it.
Be mad. They're playing you. And you know it.
And why are they doing this? It's beyond us. Almost they want to throw sand in the gears and just stop everything from happening. Whether it hurts America or not, they think that's the political strategy that's the winner for them.
There are senior senators on that side of the aisle that their goal is to see the President of the United States fail. And if the President of the United States fails, this country doesn't move forward.
There's nobody in this body that holds up more things than I do.
The best thing that could happen out of this next Congress is 2 years of gridlock.
Just stop the process, hold up the process.
Mr. President, I would just note that this is another one of the endless delays that we've had to go through here. We're in a post-cloture, 30 hours of doing nothing. We've had so many 30 hours of doing nothing that it's hard to comprehend the wasted time.
This is a perversion of the filibuster.
The Republicans bring to this an effort to delay and derail the process and to turn the most desperate domestic policy crisis in our country into political theater.
Everybody in this country understands that our nation faces a significant number of major crises. And the best the Republicans can do is try to bring the United States government to a halt.
We see it in the United States Senate every single day where members say, we want amendments, we want debate, we want amendments, but we're still a no. And then we stand up and say, oh, if only we had a different process, we'd vote yes. You vote yes if you believe yes. You vote in favor of something if you believe it's the right thing. If you believe it's the wrong thing, you vote no.
People can have honest disagreements, but in this moment of crisis, it is wrong to bring the United States government to a halt.
I just don't understand, given the circumstances we have in this country, those who decide that it is in their interest to block everything.
It's Republicans wrapping their arms around Republicans rather than doing the right thing on behalf of the heroes. It is a shame! A shame!
To paraphrase Winston Churchill, Mr. President, Never in the field of Senate legislation was so much progress blocked for so many by so few.
The president set out with the right agenda, with the right goals, and believed he could do it in a bipartisan fashion. The Republican approach was filibuster, say no, try your best to defeat the president. And so there is some frustration.
Mitch McConnell said to Major, our top goal, though, is to defeat President Obama in 2012, and that will be a counterforce against the natural impulse to find some things that they can work on, because they want contrast as well.
Mitch
McConnell said
that?
Yep. Yes, he did.
McConnell spilled the beans in an interview with the National Journal's reporter, Major Garrett, telling him the single most important thing, now think about that, folks, the single most important thing we want to achieve is for President Obama to be a one-term president. Our single biggest political goal is to give our nominee for president the maximum opportunity to be successful. We need to work smarter than we did in 1995. You know, I am just absolutely floored by that statement.
Whatever the message.
He admitted that on the record?
Yes, it is.
It's in the magazine.
In the magazine.
That is embarrassing. That is pathetic.
Be mad. They're playing you. And you know it.